Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Jabba and welcome back to the newest episode of Hot or Not, where I review brand new releases to let you know whether it's worth your time and money to read them. So the pick for September was Akwaeke Emezi's new novel Little Rot. I do a vote every month for you to participate in, and there will be a choice after this video on my community tab, that's what I was looking for, where you can vote for October's book. So Little Rot was published in October and is the newest release by Akwaeke Emezi. Akwaeke Emezi is a Nigerian fiction author, and they are non-binary, and they have a pretty extensive backlist at this point. Emezi sort of took the book world by storm with their debut novel Freshwater, which is a magical realism novel. They have really been exploring genre through their books ever since. They have published 2 children's books, a literary fiction book exploring sexuality and gender, a romance novel, and now Little Rot, which is sort of being dubbed a literary thriller. So what is Little Rot about? Little Rot is set in New Lagos in Nigeria, and we follow a cast of characters as they are sort of pulled into the darker side of the city. And so we have a woman who has left her boyfriend because he is refusing to propose to her. Said boyfriend, the manager of a nightclub that runs some pretty exclusive sex parties. A woman who is returning to Lagos after a long absence with a high-end trans escort. And they all get pulled into a plot, and we sort of see how they interconnect and how their storylines converge as the plot moves on. I would say this is a very plotty book. It's one of those plots that sort of pulls you through the novel and keeps you turning the pages, and I really loved that about it. I'm not sure I would actually classify it as a literary thriller, but I'm not sure that there is a better way of describing it, because this is really, it has a thriller-esque plot line, but that plot line is really there for character examination. We look at all of these characters and have to, and we're sort of shown how their characters are tested and how they make good and bad moral decisions when under high pressure in this very dark, very challenging environment of basically almost the sex world of Lagos. So it kicks off when the boyfriend that didn't propose, that has just been left, punches a very important person at one of these sex parties, and that person is not happy about it, and that sort of kicks the plot off. I think what is really amazing about this book is Emezi's interrogation of character. She really pushes the characters into positions where they have to make decisions, and it asks the question of all of them at some point through the book: can you make the wrong decision for the right reason? And has historical trauma and almost the generational trauma of the country, has that impacted the way that these people are able to make decisions and the morality of the decisions that they make? And I think that as a sort of talking point for their novel is really interesting. I would say though this is extremely dark, very, very dark. There are many trigger warnings involved with this book, so if you're triggered by basically anything sex related, then maybe give this a swerve. But Emezi is really not shying away from that, and I appreciate that in a book. They are showing Lagos' very dark side and not apologising for that, but showing how perhaps it can be circumnavigated, or perhaps there is actually no way of circumnavigating it. and I really, really enjoyed that. I think her character work was really good. This is a pretty short novel, considering the scope of the concept and the number of characters. It's quite short, but I did feel connected with all of the characters at one point or another. I would say the lead character is the woman that... actually, I'm not sure there is a lead character. I feel like the lead character is the character that we started with, but when I think back, actually one of the last characters that we were introduced to feels like the lead, because they had like the biggest ending storyline. But it was really interesting to see how all these characters came together, and how you're only ever like a couple of people removed from someone that's perhaps changing the events of your life, which also I love the whole butterfly effect thing, and though it was a minor part of the story, I really enjoyed that in it. So this has had some up and down reviews. Some people just are DNFing it early on, and I understand why, because there's quite a specific scene early on in the book that is really very, very difficult to read. That said, I highly recommend it if you are able to push through that sort of content to understand the characters and the place more. I think you will get a lot out of it. I gave this book 4.5 stars. It really was fantastic. I think you have to be quite a dark person maybe to enjoy this book, or you have to have an appreciation of dark literature to really enjoy this book, which I do, but I know that that's not everybody's jam, so, you know, take that as you will. And yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars. Really, really loved it, and I think it's actually getting a little bit of a bad rap when it doesn't deserve it, because it's just the kind of book that will appeal to some people but really not appeal to others. So yeah, I would love to know if you have read it or if you're considering reading it, because yeah, I'd love to talk to more people about it, because I think yeah, I think Emezi's done something quite special actually with this book. And I will leave the vote on my community tab. I will leave last month's episode of Hot or Not, which was The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley, here for you to check out. And I will see you all very soon with another one. Bye guys.